love when the stage drops. Believe me when I say she don't look good. Believe me.
Yo, what it is, TDC, it's your boy Srotonn here, but you could call me Tone. All right, listen. First of all, man, to start off, man, Ohio State, nigga, we winning it all. We winning it all, okay? We winning it all, man, you know what I'm saying? I just got to start off by saying that. But we finna watch He Exposed Why Hip Hop is Dying. Let's get into it.
My song's a minute 30.
Yeah, you in and out.
20.
Man, 20.
Don't want to do nothing but hear that shit one time, run it back if it was that gas. Another minute 20. Okay, next song. Bro, like these songs coming out, and these shorter and shorter and shorter. Like the hits coming out, short. And then the hits that's coming out that's long, they getting turned off halfway in the song. They listening, they going hook, verse.
And I can see sometimes I can see that, you know, because I'm honest. I'm one of them old young niggas. I don't be liking no long ass fucking song. I don't like long albums. I don't like 20 song albums. I don't want to listen to that shit, bro. I don't. It's just not my bag. But what I will say is it depends on the music. It depends on the music, dog. Like people like SZA who sometimes make a little bit longer songs. I would say R&B. R&B who typically makes longer songs. I like those because they sound good. Rap, hip hop, like whatever, like it'd be cool, but it'd be the same lyric, it'd be the same lyrics. So really I'd be looking for the beat to be good. I just want something that sounds good and I can listen to it for a long time. But you saying the same shit, the beat sound the same, like bro, I don't want to listen to that for 4 minutes, nigga. I don't. I'd rather listen to some
the hook one more
girl
time.
singing.
I don't hear this shit more. I don't want to hear the second verse and then hear the hook again. Nah, they cut it off.
Now, the clip I just played was of rapper Bossman D-Lo explaining why he chooses to release short rap songs. It's a topic I think deserves more attention because it reflects a larger shift happening in the rap industry.
It's been like that for a long
personal
time.
Preference. It's a response to how the music industry operates today, and it ties directly to what many believe is contributing to the decline of rap as an art form. Shorter rap songs have become increasingly popular, driven by factors like streaming algorithms, social media trends, and the ever-shortening attention spans of listeners. But Bossman D-Lo's perspective adds another layer to this conversation, one that highlights both the practicality and the pitfalls of this approach. In this video, I want to dive deeper into why artists like Bossman D-Lo feel compelled to adapt their music in this way. Is it about survival in an industry that values numbers?
You gotta adapt. You gotta adapt. If you don't adapt, you will be left behind, and that's with anything. Just let y'all know.
Or is it
y'all trying to stay true to something like, bro?
Let's talk about what he said. A lot of people might already recognize the name Bossman D-Lo. I came a long way from lunch trays and eat rice. He's a 26-year-old rising star in hip-hop, a Florida rapper who's been making serious waves this year. As a fresh
shout out to Florida, by the way. Stop playing with us.
Face in the game, he's quickly carving out a unique lane for himself, standing out with his distinct style and approach to music. I actually think Bossman D-Lo is one of the more memorable new rappers out right now. He's a street rapper, which is a style a lot of people are gravitating towards these days. What sets him apart for me, though, is his focus on money and success, rather than just rapping about violence. Kind of like the late Young Dolph. Rest in peace. If I'm going to listen to a street rapper, I tend to gravitate towards those who bring that hustler mentality into their music. After all, who doesn't like...
Because I was watching his Breakfast Club video and his interview, and he was saying, he was like, bro, that shit, like, niggas don't want to talk about that shit. Like, you know what I'm saying? He doesn't want to talk about that shit, bro. Why? It's enough killing going on. Why we got to talk about it in our raps? And I completely agree. I respect that point of view, bro. Like, I'd rather listen to somebody that's talking about hustling, getting money. Why we always got to kill each other? Why we always got to run up on each other like that? You feel me?
Caring about getting to the bag. I recently came across an interview Bossman D-Lo did with hip-hop podcasters Gilly and Wallow, where he explained why he chooses to drop short rap songs. This clip from the interview was originally posted by No Labels Necessary on Instagram and has been reposted all over the platforms, sparking a lot of conversation. I want to touch on this topic because it's highly relevant to the ongoing conversation about why so many people are saying that rap is dying. Short rap songs and short songs in general have become the wave in the music industry. This trend is largely driven by streaming platforms, where shorter tracks mean higher replay value and more streams, ultimately boosting an artist's numbers. True. It's a strategic move that aligns with fast-paced consumption habits of today's listeners, who often...
And people always call it a TikTok brain, which I get it, because a lot of people do have a short attention span. Like, I know some people, bro, they say they can't even watch movies. Listen, if you can't watch movies, bro, you are cooked. You're finished, bro. Not being able to watch a movie, I couldn't even imagine no shit. No shit like that. That's
quick,
crazy.
Digestible content over longer, more intricate tracks. Specifically in hip-hop, this trend gained significant traction during the SoundCloud era. You might remember how rappers like XXXTentacion,
Yes,
Lil Pump, and others from that time began dropping extremely short songs that quickly skyrocketed in popularity. Tracks like XXXTentacion's Look at Me.
And that's what I was saying before, bro. It's not just starting. This has been a thing for 10, 15 years, bro. Like, even when the whole dancing crazes was out, bro, go back to them songs. Them songs are not short. They're not. I wish they were, but they're not.
Lil Pump's Gucci Gang were not only catchy, but also concise, clocking in at under 3 minutes. The reason? Replay value. These short tracks encourage listeners to hit that replay button.
And they had nothing to talk about, let's be honest.
Ultimately boosting their streaming numbers and helping them climb the charts faster. Platforms like SoundCloud rewarded this kind of engagement. These songs were perfectly tailored for the platform and the era. They
100%.
fit into the fast-paced consumption habits of listeners and thrived on repeat plays, a key factor in driving their virality. Their brevity made them ideal for SoundCloud's younger audience, who were drawn to high-energy, easily consumable tracks that didn't demand a lengthy attention span.
Also, RP to X,
algorithms have
man.
changed the way music is consumed and created. Streaming platforms like Spotify and Apple Music, and platforms like TikTok reward songs that capture attention quickly and keep listeners engaged.
And what's so funny about that, though, is like people will hear a song, and I know it be happening to y'all, but it's just so crazy. People will hear a song and be like, what the fuck is this? Until the chorus. And niggas is like, or the part that goes crazy on TikTok, oh, this is that song. And then I ain't gonna say the rest of it be ass, but the rest of it just doesn't, it's not as good as that part. Now, I would say if it's trash or not, it's subjective, but it don't be as good as that one snippet that goes viral, bro.
Shorter songs
I don't know
naturally
what.
fit this mold.
I don't
They
know
grab
how
the
people
listener's
do that.
attention within seconds and often end before the listener even considers skipping. This shift has reshaped the creative process for many artists, especially in hip-hop. Instead of focusing on storytelling or complex structures, the emphasis now is on creating tracks that are immediate, catchy, and easily repeatable. This isn't necessarily a bad thing. It's simply
not.
a reflection
It's not a
on how the
bad
music
thing, bro.
landscape has evolved. However, it does raise questions about whether these algorithms are stifling creativity by pushing artists to cater to what works best for the platform rather than what
I think
feels
it's
most
also
authentic.
a thing of,
For rappers like Bossman D-Lo,
and it's not an easy thing to do, but you have to find a way to make it sound really good. To me, like I said, I can listen to 4 minutes of a R&B song because it sounds very good, or 4 minutes of, Cash Cobain or Don Toliver, but I'm 4 minutes of a street rapper talking about shooting somebody, or the whole song being about like how I got more money than you. Like, it don't sound good to me.
embracing shorter rap songs isn't just a trend, it's a strategic move to stay relevant and thrive in an industry driven by streaming numbers. But as this approach becomes more widespread, it makes us wonder, is this reliance on algorithms dictating the future of music? And if so,
It's just nobody it don't sound good, to be honest, for 4 minutes
straight. Back in 2020,
straight.
something major happened in the music industry that shifted the way artists approached their craft. Streaming services like Spotify and platforms like TikTok started playing an even bigger role in shaping what songs became hits. The trend of shorter songs, which had been bubbling under the surface for years, fully exploded.
This the
Suddenly, average song
damn
length was shrinking, with more tracks barely hitting the 2-minute mark. Why? Because shorter songs mean higher replay value, which translates to more streams and ultimately more revenue for artists and record labels. This strategy became especially popular in hip-hop, like we stated, through artists like X.
And I hear that, but I also don't agree, because I feel like you can always they can just use the fucking snippet. Nobody's dancing to the whole 2 fucking minute song, I don't think. Maybe they are, but because they still gonna use the snippet. I just think all in all, like, bro, like, nobody wants to listen to that shit for 4 minutes straight.
XXXTentacion
It
and
don't
Lil
sound
Pump, coming out of the SoundCloud era, which had already laid the blueprint for this formula. Their success proved that shorter, high-energy tracks could dominate the charts, and the industry hasn't looked back since. I want to share a short little story that ties directly into this conversation. A couple months ago, I was chopping it up with a very successful underground artist who's been killing it in the streaming game. I was looking for some perspective on music I was working on myself, so I sent him one of my songs to get his opinion. The track had this long intro, beautiful piano, a smooth bass line, and a nice build-up leading up to the hook. Now, the actual song didn't start until the 30-second mark. Personally, I liked it, but of course I want to get a second opinion, and the first thing he told me...
You really, bro, you have, in my opinion, I know some people are going to disagree. I think people I've heard that they disagree with this. I feel like you have 5 seconds. I feel like you have 5 seconds. Some people be like, you got 2 seconds. I feel like you got 5 seconds to grab somebody into your shit.
Told me was, bro, you got to cut out that intro. He explained that having a 30-second build-up means you're losing potential listeners.
Yeah, I ain't gonna lie, 30 seconds is nuts. Long-ass build-up, my nigga.
Now, this is someone who's made millions of dollars just from streaming, so I knew that they weren't speaking out of nowhere. Still, I pushed back a little to play devil's advocate, asking why it was necessary to sacrifice such a creative moment in the song. Their response was simple but clear. You just have to adapt. That conversation stuck with me because it reflects how the game works now. It's no longer about artistry. It's about understanding the platforms and playing to their strengths. And for better or worse, this is the reality of the modern music industry. A lot of artists, especially rappers, get very discouraged because they don't want to feel like they're sacrificing their artistry.
Maybe, I don't know.
To the algorithms or later
I'm not
trends.
a rap
For many,
connoisseur,
making music is a form of
so I'll let y'all
self-expression,
have that one.
And having to cut intros, shorten verses, or simplify their sound to fit the current streaming mode can feel like a compromise. And I would say overall, it depends on what kind of music that you actually make. As an example, if you're someone like Beat King, who actually passed away a few months ago, rest in peace to Justin Riley.
I feel like I've heard about him.
But if you're someone like him, who he made strip club anthems. So his songs are short because if the DJ is running through all these songs in the strip club, he kind of wants to feed people quick hits that they can just listen to and then move on to the next track, right? Overall, though, the reality is in today's industry, success often hinges on how well you adapt to these changes. It's not just about creating a great song. It's about creating a song that works within the frameworks of platforms like Spotify, Apple Music, and TikTok.
And there's nothing wrong with having some balance. Have your hits, then have songs on there that you want to express your artistry. You know what I'm saying? Because you're not going to make a 3 song album. Get your little 10 songs, 3 or 4 of them be those hits, those short hits where you be like, oh yeah, this bitch slide. The rest of them really shows your artistry. So I feel like that's an excuse. I feel like Loki's an excuse.
These platforms reward engagement, replay value, and virality, and shorter songs naturally fit the formula. For some, this adaptation can feel like selling out, but for others, it's viewed as a necessary evolution to stay relevant and thrive.
Like every song not gonna be a hit, so just
the question then becomes:
focus on your artistry on them songs that are not
while
hits.
Navigating the constraints of modern music consumption. It's a challenge that every artist, including those like Boss
I feel like I can respect that a little
bit
more than being like every song got to be 2 minutes.
Is the
like
ultimate gatekeeper to finding massive success in today's music industry. It's not just about crafting a song that resonates with your core fans anymore. It's about appealing to the masses who control streams, likes, and shares. These casual listeners often decide the fate of a song within the first 10 seconds. And if it doesn't hit them immediately, they'll skip to the next track without a second thought. And funny enough, what kind of signal does that send to the algorithm? Well, it's essentially...
I would say I won't send it to the next song, but I'll listen to it, but I ain't gonna say I like that motherfucker, to be honest with you. But I will listen to it.
Saying this product isn't worth listening to because people are skipping it. And that's why a lot of artists are just choosing to adapt. The algorithm interprets those skips as a lack of interest, which can tank your song's performance on streaming platforms. And then with that,
if you continue to go that route with every song got to be 2 minutes, that will bring up that whole everything sounds the same. It's okay to have 3 or 4 songs that you are basing it off of the algorithm, dedicated to the algorithm, hit style content, but the whole album is going to sound like that. And that's why I feel like that's where you get in trouble.
The longer of a window you give listeners to skip your track, the more likely it is that they actually will. That's why so many artists are trimming intros, jumping straight into hooks, and keeping their songs short and punchy. It's about minimizing the risk of disengagement
there's
and
nothing wrong with
maximizing
that,
the chance of capturing and holding the listener's attention. But here's the catch. While this strategy can boost numbers, it also pressures artists to prioritize what's immediately attention grabbing over what's creatively fulfilling. This dynamic has forced artists, particularly in hip-hop, to rethink their approach to music. For artists like Boss Mandilo, this means adapting to the reality of what actually works in the streaming era. Short songs with instant appeal are often more effective in reaching a broader audience. But this raises a critical question. How can artists stand out and leave a lasting impact in a world where attention spans are shrinking and music is increasingly becoming more disposable?
Like I said, I you know what I'm saying, I'm gonna make it real short. Get a couple songs, make them hits. Rest of the album just be artistry.
Especially in the kind of generation we live now,
And
often
then just
referred to as the
promote that motherfucker,
microwave
to be
era.
honest.
Everything moves at lightning speed. This is a time where a lot of the young kids grew up on TikTok, Instagram Reels, and other platforms that deliver quick dopamine hits in a matter of seconds.
Right.
Patience for anything long form or drawn out has disappeared. And that mindset has carried over into how people consume music. This mindset isn't just limited to music. It's
I say,
directly
I'm
related to
definitely part of the
content creation as
problem.
well, which is its own
I'm
art form.
100%
For
part of the
someone who builds
problem.
their audience on TikTok
Because I don't
or
like
Instagram
long albums,
through
bro. I
30-second
don't.
videos, converting those consumers into loyal followers
15,
of your long-form
20
content
songs
is an
for
uphill
what?
battle. These platforms train audiences to expect quick, digestible content, so asking them to commit to something longer can be a tough sell. On the flip side, if you take someone like me or any other content creator who focuses on long-form content, it's often easier to adapt to shorter formats when needed. That's because an audience built around longer in-depth
And you can
content.
see, that with the content creation thing, bro. Like, I love making these reaction videos. This is one of my favorite things to do. Express my opinion about whatever the fuck. But also, people like short form content, right? I have my long form, chop it up. Also have my short form for people who like that. That's the formula. That's the formula. Have your baby. Yes, people say your long form, that's my baby, but also have, some on the side for people who like this too. You have to adapt. You can't sit there and complain, oh man, people don't like this no more. Do what you love, but also get something else so people can pay attention to what you love as well and appreciate that as well. That's how I look
to be
at it.
More engaged and invested. They're willing to stick around for the message, which creates a stronger foundation when transitioning to other platforms or formats. This difference highlights how important it is to understand your audience and the type of content they're drawn to. Whether you're an artist, a content creator, or both, finding the right balance between short form and long form content is key to building a sustainable and loyal fan base.
That's all it is, finding that balance, dog.
The reason why it's easier for me to keep people coming back to long form content is because the seed that I get to plant in your mind has a stronger, more lasting impact compared to someone who focuses on quick, surface level hits. Long form content allows me to dive deeper and create a connection that resonates beyond a fleeting moment.
I don't like how you're saying that and looking at the camera like that. Relax.
Different strokes for different folks. I'm not here to downplay anyone's approach. I'm
there's
just
no reason to downplay
it.
it. Everybody
Both methods
different.
have their strengths. But the real question is which one leaves a lasting impression and builds something sustainable over time and which one doesn't. This is very similar to why artists who go deeper tend to build more loyal fan bases. Take a look at Kendrick Lamar or even Drake. Both of these artists have carved out their own space in the game. What sets them apart is the level of depth they bring to their music, which creates a strong connection with their listeners.
That's one great examples. Drake and Kendrick all have songs that are just 2 minutes. They also have songs that are 4 minutes long, like long ass songs. Bro, have your hits. There's nothing wrong with having your hits, but also have that. Like, my favorite is the long songs where Drake rap for, just go in there and rant for a long ass time. Those are my favorite Drake songs, bro. Like, I like that type of shit, but I also like his hits too. Like I said, bro, you got to have that balance. You got to find that balance.
The surface. They hit
People
their
be like,
audience
oh,
where it
well,
matters the most.
I want all my shit to be a hit, and that's not how it
Kendrick's
works.
thought-provoking storytelling or Drake's emotional relatability, both have mastered the art of leaving a lasting impact that keeps fans coming back for more.
Right.
And it's this depth that turns casual listeners into lifelong supporters. Interestingly, neither Kendrick nor Drake are known for making short songs, yet they both achieved massive success.
They have short songs, of
course. You don't have to
course.
follow the algorithm to make it big. Now, it's true that they both came up in a different era of the music industry, one that wasn't as heavily influenced by streaming.
Damn, this picture
and
look old as
algorithms.
fuck.
However, I still think the point stands.
God.
Whether it's emotional depth, Drake, or substance in music, Kendrick, it's possible to transcend trends. Their success shows that connecting with listeners on a deeper level, rather than simply chasing what's popular, can lead to longevity and a loyal fan base. Overall, I wouldn't say that Boss Man D-Lo is wrong for what he's doing at all.
You can do both.
There's a reason he has momentum. He's clearly figured something out. One of the cornerstones of success in any field is how well you adapt, and Boss Man is a great example of that. He's observing what's working in the game, mentally placing himself in it, and taking action based on what resonates. and that's the formula for success. That said, it's unfortunate that taking what I like to call the righteous path by, staying true to artistic depth
and I don't think that's the righteous path. I think that's unfair.
The same level of success.
To
the
name
reality
it that.
is the game rewards what works in the moment, not necessarily what's timeless. So did Bossman D-Lo expose why rap is dying? You tell me. Anyway, if you made it this far, that means that you enjoyed this video and this conversation perhaps. So how about drop a like? And if you're new here, my name is Blackie Speaks. Nice to meet you. Welcome to the family. Thank you for subscribing.
Yeah, man. Shout out to you. All right. So, great video. Not going to beat a dead horse. I would say the same thing over and over. We have to get out of the mindset that there's only one way to skin a cat. There's the multiple ways to do what you want to do, but you have to adapt. You can stay true to who you are, but also, what is the word? Well, I don't know the word, but tend to people who like what's popular right now. I like long form content. I like making long form content, but people like short form content. So I do my shorts, I do my reels, I do my TikToks, People, you have to, if you want to be somebody, if you want to go somewhere, you better make up and pay. Okay. But I think that's all I really gotta say. But I appreciate everybody for coming through. Till next time, I'm out.